What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to your Phillies game recap here on DSM Media's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter channels. Guys, first and foremost, if you are new to the channel, make sure to head on over to the Twitter account first at DSM_media. Hit that follow button. We greatly appreciate it. And while you're over on the page, make sure to check out the link tree. It's in our bio. It will take you to every social media platform we are available on. If you guys want to be interactive throughout any of our shows here or check out any of the DSM pregame lives, they all stream exclusively on the YouTube channel. So make sure you turn on notifications, hit that subscribe button, and it is the best place to get your thoughts, comments, and questions pulled up on each and every one of our shows here. I'm your host here on Phillies Game Recap, Dylan Davis. You can find me on Twitter at DylanJD98. Philadelphia Phillies versus the Miami Marlins at Citizens Bank Park last night. Phillies with a 15-3 smacking of the reigning NL Cy Young, Sandy Alcantara last night, and the Miami Marlins in a bullpen game started by Matt Strahm, finished off by McKinley Moore and Vasquez getting heavy work late into the ball game. This was just what the doctor ordered, and specifically for the lineup. So let's start there. I'm going to get into Matt Strahm. I'm going to get into the bullpen because this game was greatly needed. However, this one was all about the offense, all about the bats. And when you jump on Sandy Alcantara in the third inning and put a 5-spot on him, and you do a majority of your work with 2 outs. Now, remember, Jake Cave started that inning with a monstrous home run, but Bryson Stott and Trey Turner got things going with 2 outs remaining in that inning, and things just spiraled out of control from there. From the reigning Cy Young winner, you get a 5-spot on him there. You get a 4-spot on him in the 5th, a 4-spot on the Marlins in the 6th when he was ultimately pulled. Not sure why he came back out to pitch that inning, but that's neither here nor there. The Philadelphia Phillies got the offense rolling after a disastrous loss and collapse on Easter Sunday at the bank against the Cincinnati Reds. 20 hits, 2 walks, and you can't even pinpoint, you can't even pick out who stepped up, who was your star of the game, because everybody shined. Everybody. Bryson Stott has another 2-hit game. He gets the leadoff nod from Rob Thompson last night. I questioned it. A lot of people questioned it. Look what the offense was able to do last night. Maybe that's coincidence, maybe not. Trey Turner, 3 for 4 last night with another RBI. He gets the night off early because they build such a big lead. Kyle Schwarber, 2 for 3 with a walk. Nick Castellanos, 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, ultimately ejected from that game. Alec Boehm, 6 RBIs, 3 for 5. Brandon Marsh, he can hit lefties, 3 for 5. A moonshot of a home run. Oppo Taco, left center field for Brandon Marsh. Jake Cave, like I said, 2 hits, got the third inning started against Alcantara. This was a complete performance from top to bottom, with the exception of Cody Clemens, but from top to bottom from this Phillies lineup, and it was desperately and greatly needed because they had no energy. This team lacked focus. This team lacked momentum. You come out on Saturday afternoon and you go scoreless through 8 innings, and then you come from behind and Bryson Stott walks off the game, and you think, okay, here we go for the sweep tomorrow. You collapse in the 9th. Sir Anthony collapses in the 9th, and you lose that game to Cincinnati, and you're kind of sitting here like, all right, I know they're better than the Marlins, but this matchup doesn't feel right. Sandy versus a Matt Strahm-led bullpen game doesn't feel right. The Phillies, for whatever reason, if they have a tip on Sandy that they picked up from last year, they beat him 3 times last year. They hung a 6-spot on him last year. They picked up right where they left off, and it was desperately needed. Before we move on to the pitching and to Matt Strahm, because in 2 starts, the guy has been phenomenal in place of Ranger Suarez, who should be back relatively soon. I have to talk about Rob Thompson's decision with this lineup. Like I said, probably coincidence. They hit Alcantara well for some reason. They were due for an explosive night, a powerful night, couple home runs, a lot of gap shots, a lot of doubles. They were due. I understand. But as much as we say Rob hasn't pressed the right buttons, which is very easy to Monday morning quarterback after a bad performance from a team, right? It's very easy to sit here and say he shouldn't have started this person. He shouldn't have plucked this person in the bullpen. He shouldn't have pulled him too early, right? You have to tip your cap and say that he pressed all the right buttons last night. giving Bryson Stott the nod in the leadoff spot, which, like I said, I questioned myself, turned out to be the right move last night. The kid's patience, the kid's composure at the top of this lineup is greatly needed. And I know it's probably not the long-term plan. It's probably not on the agenda to keep Bryson Stott in the leadoff spot. But when you start 3-6, when you are scratching and clawing and looking for a way to string together some wins, you have to start putting out your best 9, and you need to find an order that gets the most out of them. So while we all, with the signing of Trea Turner, assume that he will be the leadoff guy, and listen, Trea's hitting almost 400. Trea is perfectly fine outside of 2 0-for games against the Reds last series. But he has also hit second and third in his time in LA. He never led off for LA outside of a Mookie Betts day off last year. So Trea Turner is quite comfortable hitting from that 2-hole or that 3-hole in place of Bryce Harper for the time being. So Bryson Stott at the top of this lineup, if he is going to continue to work pitchers and work at bats and get their pitch count up high with that plate discipline and with that eye, and then just be able to have that clutch gene, not just in a big moment like the bottom of the 9th inning when you need a run, but to come up in the 5th with 2 outs and get on base and then steal second. And then that allows Trea to bloop one into right center to get you home for another run to kickstart the rest of that inning. That's clutch from the young kid. Then you go down the line. Trea's comfortable hitting there. Schwarber, you're taking at-bats out of his hands. You're taking pitches away from him. He needs to see more pitches to have those power numbers like he did leading off last year. 2 for 3 last night, right? No, you can't really complain about Kyle Schwarber last night. Nick Castellanos, whether he's 4, whether he's 5, whether he's 6 right now. Double. NL leader in doubles right now. 3 RBIs last night. Alec Boehm, you can't say enough about. Alec Boehm's hitting over 400. Feels like it's 500. The power numbers, 2 straight absolute moonshots in back-to-back days. He looks phenomenal. 6 RBIs. Brandon Marsh, like I said earlier, it's Topper. Forget Christian Pache. Yes, I know he came in, had an RBI single, got it. Forget Christian Pache. Brandon Marsh is here, and Brandon Marsh should play every day. He can hit lefties. I don't know if you saw that last night, but an opposite field bomb of a home run and a 2-run RBI double against lefties will do the trick for the kid. So Brandon Marsh needs to play every day. He's hitting phenomenal right now. The Phillies lineup, to me, last night did exactly what their skipper needed. Because, as I said in the pregame show, I didn't love all the movement. It felt very Joe Girardi-esque of last year. Yes, I know the injuries are playing a major role in that with missing Bryce and Reese and Hall. So you're looking what works, who can slide in where. But I do not love the fact that in 10 games, the Phillies have had about 8 or 9 different lineups. Because that's not what good teams do. It's not what winning teams do. At least your 1 through 6 or 1 through 7 should be solidified when they're playing every day. So when you see that work last night against one of the game's most dominant pitchers, it maybe gives Rob Thomson the confidence to throw that same lineup out there again. Now, yes, I know JT Realmuto got the day off. He's going to slide probably back into the 3 or 4 hole. It switches the lineup a little bit. But to me, it'll be very interesting to see what this lineup card looks like tonight, because you should have Stott leading off again after what the offense did last night. Trea's in the 2 hole. If you want to slide JT 3, then Schwarber goes right to 4. Castellanos 5. Boehm 6. Right? Sosa should play because that's your best 9 right now. Sosa at third base. Boehm at first base. Sosa 7. Marsh 8 or 9. And whoever you have DHing or playing in right or left field, whether that be Jake Cave, whether that be somebody else, that's Josh Harrison. That's your lineup tonight. So yesterday's performance was very, very important, not only for the win, not only for confidence, but maybe it gives a struggling Rob Thomson through the first 10 games of the season a little bit of an idea, a little bit of an identity that he can construct this lineup with. Now, moving forward to the defensive side of things, the pitching staff last night. What you can't say more about Matt Strahm. You cannot say enough about the 2 outings you've gotten from Matt Strahm. If you want to question why Thompson pulled him after the 5th when he thrown under 60 pitches, I mean, yeah, I was wondering it too. And you saw the Marlins get 3 runs back. The Phillies had double-digit runs. What are you going to stretch him out 10, 15 more pitches for, right? So Matt Strahm gives you 5 shutout innings. He gave you 4 or 4 and a third shutout innings in the Bronx last week in their only win through the first 2 series. He has been phenomenal so far on the bump. First of all, he's composed. He's got some, it's not swagger, but he's got this energy to him where you see him when he's not locating, stepping off the mound, yelling at himself, smacking his glove. Now, there could be a time where that messes him up and it takes away from his focus and he's too in his head. I don't know. So far, it hasn't. So far, it seems to fire him up. His last out in the 5th inning, he turned off the bump and let out a very loud scream and a little flex. Matt Strahm was fired up last night, and he has been phenomenal. The thing I love about him, he pounds the strike zone. Pounds the strike zone. The dude does not waste time. He doesn't waste pitches. He goes right after you, and it's worked the first 2 games. And it's not like he threw against, a Reds lineup who, yes, I know beat us on Sunday, but the Reds lineup in comparison to the Yankees and this Marlins lineup who, yes, they're not the caliber of New York, but they're nothing to sniff at, right? You got Jazz Chisholm. You got Luis Arias coming over from the Twins, the AL batting champion last year, who smoked 2 hits yesterday. Jorge Soler's a power hitter. Garrett Cooper can hit a little bit. Like, they have some guys in the top half of this lineup. Birdies. They have some guys. So the fact that you've gotten these 2 outings from Matt Strahm and this coolness, this calmness in which when the team needed it. Think about these 2 starts for a second you got from Matt Strahm. You were 0-4 to start the year in the first one. You're on your way to being 0-5 if he doesn't step up and the bullpen doesn't step up the way they did in that moment. You get that win. Now, last night, like I said in the beginning of the show, you're coming off a big momentum walk-off. You get walked off on, essentially, by a Reds team where you blew 2 2-run leads. Maybe the momentum gets away from you. Maybe they get to face Sandy and the bats don't get going. No, what do you get? Dominant Strahm from the first inning on. The calmness and collectiveness that he has brought this group when you are down Ranger Suarez, you are down a young Andrew Painter to start the year, you're getting him and Bailey Falter every 5 days. That can be a little intimidating as a Phillies fan. You're not ultra confident about that. But Matt Strahm is giving you a reason to be confident right now. And maybe soon he won't be in the starting rotation anymore. Maybe he'll be back in that bullpen getting work. But at least when you need 3 outs in the 6th, when you need 3 outs in the 7th, I know it's not the same as starting coming out of the pen. You can be confident about what Matt Strahm's going to give you. You can be confident that if a guy goes down for a week or so, or if you need to throw him in because of a doubleheader, that Matt Strahm can give you a winning start. And he's done that through the first 2. Now you get to the bullpen. This is why I think his start and this lineup was ultra important. You had a bullpen game in which you didn't use any of your bullpen. You used 2 guys who you, as a Phillies fan, don't want to see on a nightly basis. You, as Rob Thompson, don't want to call their number on a daily basis. McKinley Moore is a cool story. Made his major league debut, pumped some gas in his first inning, had a clean inning in his first go of it, struggled coming out the next inning. Vasquez comes out, struggles a little bit. Believe he let up, 4 hits from Vasquez last night. 4 hits from him, 1 run from Moore, but he allowed 3 earned runs, walked 3. You didn't use anybody that you're going to need tonight in a tight ball game, tomorrow in a tight ball game. That is huge. A bullpen game without really using your bullpen. Phillies get the win, 4-6 on the year. They get 2 shots at winning the series now with Nola and Wheeler coming up. Potentially can go for a sweep at home before you head to Cincinnati for 4. The Phillies yesterday was so important to draw the line in the sand from Sunday between Sunday night and 6:40 p.m. last night and saying enough with the base running mistakes, enough with the free passes and the walks, the sloppy pitching, the sloppy hitting, the sloppy base running, everything. Enough of it. And it's time to start acting like the NL champions that we are. And you saw that last night. Let's hope and let's see that they can continue that tonight, because it does not get a lot easier with Luzardo on the bump tonight. However, you do have Knowles. And Luzardo is not Sandy Alcantara. but we'll see if the Phillies can do some damage tonight against the young stud in a Marlins uniform. Guys, with that said, that is going to wrap up this Phillies game recap. This felt good. This was the first ultra positive Phillies game recap through the first 7 that I have done on the year. Even the 2 wins before that, you squeak them out, right? It doesn't feel great. There's nothing too promising to look at. This one was a statement. This one was dominating from start to finish. Let's hope this train ride can continue. You guys can find me on Twitter at DylanJD98. Don't forget to check all of us out at DSM at DSM_media. Check out the link tree in our bio and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Turn on notifications for whenever we go live, specifically DSM pregame lives, Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles all year long. They stream exclusively on the YouTube channel. For myself, for DSM, have a great rest of your Tuesday and ring the bell.